Hi, this is Ed Breniger, Circle of Impact Leadership. It's an exciting time for me and for those of us involved with Circle of Impact Leadership as we prepare for the release of my new book, Circle of Impact, Taking Personal Initiative to Ignite Change. In these videos that you will be receiving through the newsletter that you have signed up for, I'm going to give you a taste of what's in the book. I want you to have a feel for what's there. I want you to feel like this is a book that I want to read. This is a book that's going to provide some answers, some help, some direction, some practical advice, but also a way of seeing things that maybe is new and is really going to be helpful. That was the purpose of the book. It's my intention. That's what I worked hard for almost 2 years in writing it to bring that to you. So let me talk today for just a few minutes about one section of the book on change. And I call this transition because I see change as, like many of you, as random, occasional moments in time where things are being disrupted because of change. I do see that. I've experienced it just like you have experienced it. But I see a different picture also. And this is a kind of a larger picture of where change is. And I see it as transition. And the best way to say this is that the transition of change that I see us going through is one where we were in the past has transitioned to where we are today and where we will be in the future. And the question is the person that I was in the past, or the company as it was in the past, the way it needs to be for the future? And I think if we take the time to think about this, we will see that we have already been changing, that circumstances in the world are a part of that, but also we make personal decisions about ourselves and our companies that change the way they function. We're always looking for improvement. I mean, an improvement process is simply a change process. And if we track our improvement, we can see the transition that we've gone through. In the book, I address change from these three aspects: of personal change, of organizational change, and of a change in the way we understand leadership. Let me say something about that first. I came early on to the conclusion, this is decades ago, that the idea that a leader is a person who has a role and a title in an organization was really inadequate. And the more I thought about it, the more I worked with people, the more I worked with organizations, I came to the conclusion that all leadership begins with personal initiative to create impact that makes a difference that matters. And if that's true, and I've been testing that everywhere I've gone for the last almost 40 years, if that's true, then all of us can lead with impact. That doesn't mean that all of us will become the CEO of a company. That's not what this means. It means that each of us can make a difference that matters where we are because we have made a decision to do something. And that's what leadership impact is about. So for that to happen, we need businesses and organizations and communities to be structured so that we're free to take those kinds of initiatives, where we're free to give ourselves to a cause, where we have the opportunity to make a difference that matters. And so we change structures, and I've seen this in businesses, where the lowest echelon of the member of an employment staff is freed to change, to create change. And they do that by solving problems and communicating and finding new ways to do things that they've been doing this one way forever. And now they can do it in a new way, and it changes things and it makes things better. But the freedom of the individual within the company to do that is a part of what this is about. So we need a new idea about leadership, and we need a new idea about how organizations can function. What we also need, and this is maybe the most important thing, we also need to understand how each of us individually can become persons of impact. I'm convinced that the greatest challenge and the greatest change that we go through is in our self-perception. I've had so many conversations over the years with people who say, don't call me a leader. I don't want that role. I don't want that responsibility. Well, I'm not offering that to you. What I'm offering to you is for you to act on the things that matter to you, the things that are in your heart, in your mind, that say, this is important, and I'm going to do something about it. And when we structure our businesses for people to be able to do that, then everything begins to change. So that's what this is about. And this is what you're going to find in the book. And it's really exciting. So here's what I'd like you to do. These videos are going to come out every month in the monthly newsletter. So between now and the next one will be about another facet of this book. I'd like you to think about something that really matters to you that you need to do something about. It's something that's been nagging in your mind, or it's in your heart, and you're watching something on the internet or on television, you read something in a magazine, and your emotions well up inside of you, and that's an indicator that something is important to you. Maybe you're angry, or maybe you're happy, or maybe it brings you joy. Regardless of what it does, there's something that you need to do to validate that thing's importance to you. So I want you to identify that thing, and I want you to write it down somewhere. Put it on a note card, put it on your stall in your office, put it on a wall in your office. Do something with that. Share it with someone. Maybe you have a friend that you meet for lunch. Talk about that. Share this video with him or her, and talk about this over the next few weeks as you try to imagine what it might be if you made the decision today that I'm going to change that one thing that I believe must be changed. And I'm not really talking about, well, we're going to change global warming or climate change, or we're going to change all these huge global pictures. I'm talking about something that is right there, possible in your hand, that you can take an action to do by yourself or with another group of people, that you can do that. So if you're able to do that, then you're going to begin to be prepared to read The Circle of Impact and find support for this initiative that you have already begun. So in a sense, watching the video is like beginning to read the book already, and that's exciting. So thank you for watching. Share this with your friends. Let's come together and talk more about how we can make a difference in the world, because this is the only world we have. So I'll see you soon, and thank you very much.